And I know that I'm getting older because, well, not even me, but I know Sweetie Pie's getting older.
Love how that's pinned on him.
I'm
not, but he is.
Because I would never watch the shit he watches on TV. Why are we watching golf, Sweetie Pie? And tennis. He watches tennis. Although, have you seen the tennis player?
I was just
the hot tennis player.
I'd watch tennis now based on that dude.
Who is he? Do you know who he is, Billy?
Is he? I think he's Italian.
Billy, who's the hot dude that plays tennis? Come on, you don't know this. Oh,
neither do I, but I know about the hot guy that plays tennis. He's all over social media.
I'm looking up different things.
Oh, fair enough.
That's not on your news feed.
Billy's not old enough to watch tennis yet. No, okay, but he's really hot. So
yeah, he is.
I'm here for it. Sometimes life just sucks, and sometimes it freaking rocks. We will discuss all the things from family and real estate to travel and just life in general. So take a seat, or don't, you do you, and welcome to the Lumbattis podcast.
God, I'm missing an earring.
You are? Where did it go? Did you forget to put it on? That's funny. You know what? One time I forgot to shave one of my legs.
I think I did. Now that you say that, because I was looking in the mirror, I was like, are these too big? I was like, no. And then I think I started doing something else.
Girl, so check it. I was showing homes one day and I get out of the vehicle and I'm like, I don't even know what I was doing. I took a picture of my shoes. I was wearing a cute pair of shoes. So I took a picture of my shoes and I looked up at my client and I was like, I only shaved my left leg. She was like, what? I'm like, yeah. So I've done what you've done before. Are we recording? Perfect.
Oh,
so
okay.
Welcome to the Lumbattis podcast.
Thank you.
I feel like I haven't seen you in a couple days and it makes me feel...
That's true, because we haven't seen each other in a couple of days.
When was it?
I think it's been a week.
Shut up.
Last week. I saw
So it has been a week almost.
Yes.
Okay, but you've been busy at real estate conferences. I've been busy at real estate conferences. So I'm so happy to have you back because the last time you were here, we didn't get to finish talking about Italy. So before we divulge into all of that, I have to tell you, normally I come dressed in like Lumbattis and Associates gear.
Yeah, you look so cute today.
Thank you. Why do you say that so shockingly?
No, you always look cute. But like it looks like you're about to go out somewhere.
Okay.
Like, fun.
So I had to get dressed today for like how I'm going to dinner because I will not have any time. It has been the craziest day today. So we've opened 3 escrows within the last couple days, actually. We had one fall out of escrow because we accepted a contingent buyer and then their buyer fell out. So naturally our buyer had to fall out. And so it's just been crazy, like with disclosures and inspections and everything. I mean, I don't need to tell you because you do all that stuff for us. Thank you, Jesus. But I worked this morning and I had a coaching call with one of the girls in our office. And then I'm filming podcasts today for a couple hours. I normally film in batches, so it just kind of works out better that way. And then the boys have a tournament, and then I'm going to Palm Desert this weekend.
Wait, so you're going to go to the tournament first? And then
I'm going to the tournament and then to Palm Desert. We have dinner plans at 7 p.m. at LG Steakhouse in La Quinta.
Oh, nice.
I've never been.
You go to the best places.
I do, and I'm so excited because I've never been. But David was like, I really want to go, and he had been saying that for a long time, and I was like, perfect. And then clients and very good friends of ours were like, hey, I have this golfing tournament. Do you want to go? And I was like, no, I don't like golfing.
That's right. I remember you talking about this.
Okay, so
yes.
I'm not a huge golfing fan, and I know that I'm getting older because, well, not even me, but I know Sweetie Pie's getting older because I
love how that's pinned on him.
I'm
not, but he is.
Because I would never watch the shit he watches on TV. Why are we watching golf, Sweetie Pie? And not even we. Like, I come home from an open house and golf is on. Like, I feel like people start watching that and tennis. He watches tennis. Although, have you seen the tennis player?
I was just
the hot tennis player.
I'd watch tennis now based on that dude.
Who is he? Do you know who he is, Billy?
Is he? I think he's Italian.
Billy, who's the hot dude that plays tennis? Come on, you don't know this.
I don't watch sports.
Oh,
neither do I. But I know about the hot guy that plays tennis.
Well, I know.
He's all over social media.
I'm looking up different things.
Oh. Fair enough.
That's not on your news feed.
Billy's not old enough to watch tennis yet. No. Okay, but he's really hot. So
yeah, he is.
I'm here for it. But needless to say, I don't even know.
I think golf is very calming. So maybe it's calming anxieties.
What does he have to be anxious about?
I don't know. I remember my kids were little, they used to watch Peppa Pig.
Uh-huh.
And for some reason, that show was so calming to me.
Even as an adult, that was calming to you. No, I've heard of this.
I really got into it. And I was like, this is such a calming show for whatever reason.
Really? What do they talk about?
I don't even remember. I don't know. I just felt calm and safe and...
Okay. Do you remember Caillou?
Vaguely.
I've never wanted to punch a little kid in the head so much in my life.
Was he the naughty boy?
Yes, he was. And
Okay.
his voice drove me crazy.
Yeah.
I just can't. But anyways, so...
Well, speaking of Sweetie Pie, where is Sweetie Pie? Because he was supposed to be here today. I was so excited to see his first podcast.
Okay. You guys, for those of you listening, I have been trying to get my husband on here with me since day one. Like, literally, I thought he would make the most amazing content because he is so funny. Like,
There was a couple false starts that I remember thinking he was going to be here, then he wasn't.
okay, well, this is, I think, the second false start because the first time he was like, yeah, I'll do it with you. And then he was like, that day doesn't work for me. And I'm like, you can make your own schedule. So David is in air conditioning sales. And granted, he works. Like, he does work 9 to 5. Actually, he works even more than that because he was working on a quote like as late as like 11 p.m. And he's normally at his desk probably by, 7 a.m. So the truth of the matter is he does work normally. So trying to film a podcast in the middle of a workday can be difficult for him. But there have been times when we have gone outside of the workday and he's like, yep, that works for me. And then it doesn't. So, okay. So we kind of dove deep a little the last couple days. So the last, on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week, today's Friday, Tuesday and Wednesday of this week, Sweetie Pie and I went to Disneyland. So we did Disney California Adventure one day. And then the next day we did, Disneyland.
Did you guys go to the bar?
Okay, so we stayed at the West End. Yes.
Oh my God, I forgot to tell you, look out for Rose.
Oh, shoot, I
server.
forgot.
Yeah, okay.
You'll
Anyways,
have
go
to
ahead.
tell that story because
Yes.
that's a good story. Okay, so we went and we both work on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So he made it a point to like see clients and do what he needed to do. We didn't get to Disney until a little bit later, but it is what it is. Well, that night we stayed at the West End and we went on the rooftop bar because Nicole had told me, okay, go on the rooftop bar and watch the fireworks. So I made reservations for 8:45. I was so excited. And I shit you not, Disney did a freaking laser show.
Could you see it?
The lasers, yes. I couldn't see like what they were doing or where they were
Okay,
going
so
with
wasn't
it.
as exciting as a firework.
It was so lame.
bummer.
It was so lame. And this is what I have to say to Disney. Disney, you're good at fireworks. Stick to fireworks. I'm sure the laser show was amazing. But it totally killed my whole vibe. I mean, I had this whole thing planned out and David was like, you could tell, he must have been able to see it on my face. He's like, the lasers, they look so beautiful from here though. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I was seriously, first world problems. I was so bummed that the fireworks weren't going off during my happy hour with Sweetie Pie. I just can't. So needless to say, we rebooked. Apparently they do them on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights. So I booked us for a Friday night in November.
Nice.
Because that was the first time I could get the time that I wanted.
Wow.
So-
Gosh, they're that booked out?
For the fireworks, yeah, everybody else must know that they do lasers midweek except me. I was so irked. I was bummed.
Oh, you know what? I did go on a Sunday.
Well, because you went there for a date.
Yes, it was the first date.
That's
right?
such a
Yes.
great first date.
It was. He had never been there, but he apparently knows how to pick them. Yeah, it was great.
And what time did your date start? Because they only allow you 2 hours. So this is at the top of the West End for anybody who's listening. Top of the West End, off of Catella. And it's amazing. It is a 5-minute walk to Disney. And no, I'm lying. It's an 8-minute walk to Disney, a 5-minute Uber. So for an extra 3 minutes, you can get your exercise in. So that's what we did. We walked both days. It was lovely.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And because I have points, like I booked it on points.
Yes.
We got a late checkout. So we got to work in the morning, went to Disney for a couple hours. And we were only at Disney for a very small amount of time. And then we went back and we worked and did everything else that we needed to do. So it kind of worked out well. But
That's good.
you had a first date there. What
Yeah,
time did it start?
I think we met early. They let us stay through the fireworks. I want to say we met at like 5:30 or 6.
Okay, that is early because
know.
fireworks aren't until like 9:30.
Yeah, it was a long first date, but it was very fun. We had the best waitress. Her name was Rose.
Oh, yes.
And she was so sweet. And she just came over and she was like, I feel like you guys are in love. And I start cracking
On
up.
the first date. Okay, is that awkward?
And I said, my date, like, you could tell he was a little uncomfortable. And I started cracking up. And I said, this is our first date. She's like, oh. She kept
doing.
So for those that aren't watching, she like created a heart with her hands and like pointed to me, and I just could not stop laughing the whole time.
How old was
and
she?
I loved her. Like I love like people that are a little quirky,
Sure.
and she definitely was. Well, she looked great. I assumed she was about my age. However, after further learning about her life, she is a grandmother, so she's like in her 60s.
Yeah, but to be fair, you could be a grandma. I mean, not with the children that you have now, but if you had
True.
older children, you could be.
Oh, that's true.
So I don't know.
Oh, maybe. Maybe she was. No, she had this like maternal, I feel like she wanted to mother me, which I'm always attracted to that. You know that.
Yes.
That's the mother wound issues. I'm always attracted to a female nurturer.
Like I said, I think those wounds created you to be an amazing mother. But needless to say, so that is hilarious.
But she wouldn't stop. Like all night, she would go by our table and do the heart hands and point to us. And then she'd come up and like touch my hair. And she's like, you're so beautiful.
Oh.
And it just made me feel good, obviously. And my date...
Was he like, what in creation is happening?
She said to him like, oh, I can tell he loves you. And it was so uncomfortable for him. And I was just cracking up.
Was there a second date?
There was a second date.
Was there a third date?
There has not been a third date.
Okay.
He went out of the country for a month. I don't know. There might be a third date. And now he actually just went to New York and then he's going to D.C. So he's a traveler. But I had a great time. Second date was fun. We didn't get a rose. Meaning a woman like that. Not
Yeah, because
like
that did sound very bachelorette-ish.
And then when we went to the bar, because the hotel bar was great too. So after fireworks, we went down to hotel bar.
Somebody else told me that the hotel bar was amazing. We didn't make it that far. We saw lasers and I was super bummed and I was like, I was bumming for sure.
We did the hotel bar. So our day was like 6 hours. And then we met a couple next to us who had just gotten engaged, happened to be from his hometown, which is like in Oregon, which was really strange. She like knew his brother. And then she wanted to take a picture of us. She goes, next time we see you guys, you'll be engaged.
What is
something
happening?
like along those lines? And I was like, what? I start cracking up. And again, I tell them like, this is the first date.
And they're like, yeah, we don't care. You're getting married. So Rose is marrying you off, and so is the couple from Oregon.
Apparently.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
That's exhausting. You'll have to keep me posted if there's a third date.
I will.
Okay, so back to my story. So we start talking, Sweetie Pie and I, about the podcast, and he's like, what are we going to talk about? And I'm like, we can talk about anything you want to talk about. And I'm like, it's literally my podcast. Like nobody else would give me a show, so I gave myself a show, and here we are. So he goes,
and I do love that about you. You want something and you just make it happen.
yeah, I'm like, forget
For
it.
everything. It's very inspiring.
I mean, Bravo could still call me. I'm not going to be
True.
upset if they do.
True.
But I don't think that I have enough drama in my life. I think that's the downfall to me. So
You could create some.
I know, but then I would. But you know what? That's exhausting to even think about. And I don't. I see drama coming, and I steer clear. Like I want to see it on TV all day, every day, quite literally. But I don't want to be a part of it. I just want to stand back and watch this shit show collide. It's my thing. And so he goes, I don't want people knowing about my life, and I'm like, you're married to me. Are you aware of this?
Your entire life is on social media.
That's what I feel like.
And his life is too. So he doesn't even know. Everyone knows about his life.
Well, he does know though, because he'll be in the grocery store and people are like, okay, this is weird, but Sweetie Pie, I know you. And he's like, that's not weird. What's up? How are you? And I mean, he's so personable, but and I'm like, do you want to talk about being a dad? Do you want to talk about being married? Do you want to talk about, our struggles? Do you want to talk about, and he's like, no, I don't want to talk about any of it. And I'm like,
I think because there's this extra layer of vulnerability when you're here and it's like discussing versus you just featuring him on your Instagram. This is like another layer of like, here's my soul, which I think men, correct me if I'm wrong, Billy, but have a harder time doing that than women. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We're like, here, well, at least I'm like, here it is.
Yeah, I feel like I'm pretty open. I can be an overshare for sure.
Same.
But Yeah, and here's the other thing too. Did you see what my parents bought my husband from Europe? Tell me you saw this. I cannot.
When I was out having drinks, I was swiping through Instagram and I saw us cracking up.
The
first, I
best.
cracked up from the first picture of just David.
I can't.
And then the second picture with the twinsies, that really made me crack.
You guys, okay, so my parents were in Europe for 3 weeks. They were gone a really long time. And if this is your first podcast of mine that you're listening to, I own a house 5 doors down from my mom and dad. So we are close. We see each other all the time. Everyone thinks that that's so great because people think that they're watching my kids. My kids don't need babysitters. Like, we chose to live there because we love my parents. I mean, that was definitely a selling point to this property. We bought this home for many reasons. But so anyhow, I am at a seminar in Costa Mesa all day. I was so exhausted when I got home. And I get a picture of my husband in a freaking kilt and like these long ass socks that go up to his knees, and he's wearing flip-flops. And my cousin messages me. Okay, actually both of my cousins, all 3 of my cousins messaged me yesterday. I have more than 3 cousins, but my 3 cousins from the same family. So my cousin Mallory was like, I don't understand. Why is he wearing socks with his sandals? And I'm like, because he's old and old people do weird things. And so here he is being old and performing for us. So it was lovely. And
With
then
golf in the background.
With golf in the back. You know that shit was on. You know that was what they were watching. And then the second picture that I get is a photo of my father and my husband in their kilts collectively. And they're both holding some sort of drink. I would imagine it was scotch or whiskey. And they were just having a minute. It was, and like I said, it was a long day for me. I ended up going to dinner with a bunch of my Tom Ferry peeps who I love. And I actually got to talk to Tom, which was so funny. I told him about our flight from hell.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, and one of his coaches was on there with me. So I'm like, yeah, Tori reached around and was like, Lauren, are you okay? How's everything going? And he's like, did you just want to start crying? And I'm like, you don't even understand. He's like, I fly all the time, so I'm kind of used to it by now. And I said, Tom, I fly all the time too. And as long as my family's with me, I'm good. But when my family's not, I was losing my shit. He's like, I feel so bad. He gave me a big old hug. Anyways, so I get this picture and I'm like, you guys are having way too much fun. So they brought him back a kilt. So Jillian, my other cousin, was like...
And by the way, for those that don't know, David and your father are like little besties.
They are.
They do Costco dates and it's just the cutest. So this is just perfect that they have matching kilts now.
So my dad came over and helped build a bathroom in our backyard because it's just a toilet and a sink, but it is quite literally the most beautiful bathroom we have in the house, or as a part of our house because it's not really in our house. And as a thank you, David took my dad to Glen Ivy for the day. So the 2 of them went to Glen Ivy. And so my dad calls me and he's like, I'm pretty sure everybody at Glen Ivy thinks we're gay. And everybody's looking at me like I'm the old man with this young dude. I started laughing and I said, who gives a shit what people think? Who cares? It's so cute. Their relationship is very, very cool. I am so grateful for it. And even possibly a little bit jealous, if I'm being honest, because I always thought that I would have that relationship with my mother-in-law and my sister-in-laws. And that, I mean, could not be further from what we have. So I'm grateful that David has that. And my dad tells me all the time how grateful he is for David and stuff. So
That's really sweet.
It's a very, very cool relationship. And you know what? My dad even has that relationship with Josh, my sister's husband, my brother-in-law, who I love. And if they lived closer, my dad even bought Josh a kilt. I don't know if he's supposed to know that. So if he's not supposed to know that, I hope he doesn't listen to this podcast. But anyways, so it was so fun. Anyways, I told David, I swear my ADD is at an all-time high today. Happy freaking Friday. So I told David, I'm like, David, our life is pretty much out there to begin with. And even the kilt pictures, like I asked him.
That's right. I was like, what were we talking about?
Yeah, I don't even know how I can revert myself back. I'm actually quite proud of myself for that.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
But I told him, I said, with the kilt photos, I'm like, do you mind if I post it? He goes, I don't care. So I always ask him before if I can post stuff. And a lot of people comment on how they think it's great that he is so willing to let me post things, because if he said no, I would not. But I'm also really good about asking my kids too. I won't post something if my kids are like, no. One time I posted Connor singing and I was like, do you mind if I post that? He goes, no, I don't care. It's fine. So my kids get their laid back attitude in that sense from him for sure. But I'm like, I don't know what we would talk about that he would feel super uncomfortable about. Like,
It's different when it's coming from his mouth than you talking about him.
Or maybe he's scared that I will say something because I am very open and I do speak what's on my mind. He says that that's one of the best things about being married to me is he's like, I don't question where I stand with you. I know when you're pissed at me. I know when you're, happy with me. He's like, if you're upset, you come to me and you're like, listen, I gotta be straight with you. This is how I'm feeling right now. And I don't freaking like it. And then he's like, 9 times out of 10, I didn't even realize that I did that. I'm sorry. And vice versa though, because he's very good about coming to me when there's an issue as well. So I don't know. And I think he's an incredible dad. And I think that he is an even better husband, which is lovely because in our world, he comes first and I come first in his. So that is a compliment. That is not a bad thing saying that I think he's a better husband than a better dad. I hope I'm a better wife than I am a mom. So I don't know. And I really do think because a lot of people do comment, like I said, about how he's so vulnerable when I post about him on social media and he allows me to do those things. But a lot of people comment on how go with the flow he is.
Yes.
Like,
so the last time I saw you in the office,
yes.
I think you called him half a dozen times to change plans.
I was so annoying him.
And
I
every
had
time
to.
he was like, yeah, cool, okay. Da-da-da.
And I put him on speakerphone and I know I probably shouldn't have, but he was like, yeah, that's fine. Whatever you want, babe. That works for me. And there's a lot of men, and I don't know this. I've been married to him for 20 years.
And when you hung up, I even said like, wow, he is so easygoing. That is so nice.
So many people say that about him. So, and I don't realize it. I think it's something I take for granted because he's always been that way. Like, I want to do something, he's like, let's do it. And even at Disneyland, or this is just to kind of feed off of like how easygoing he is. Even at Disneyland, I'm like, I have to show you, look how cute this is. And there's a wall full of Mickey ears. And y'all, the last thing I need is another pair of Mickey ears. I love them. I wear them all the time. I mean, at Disneyland, like not. I don't
Showing
wear,
homes.
Yeah, hi, welcome. I'm going to Disneyland after this. No, but I love them. I love wearing them. I think they're so cute. I even take them when we went to Paris. I took my own Mickey ears and wore them there. Like, I love them.
Paris Disneyland.
Okay. Yes. Paris, California.
No.
Mickey ears.
I thought you meant like in Paris. You're like
just walking around with Mickey ears. Fantastic.
by the Eiffel Tower.
You're like that moronic American.
So I just wanted to clarify.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. And they're not very Disney-esque at all over there. It's very much an American thing. They are
in
not.
the park, people aren't dressed?
No, not.
Like with Mickey heads?
Absolutely not.
Really?
I mean, you do come across them, but I feel like most of them are Americans. It's very interesting. Disney throws up over here on the people that walk through those gates. Over there, it's very different.
Interesting.
But anyways, I was telling him, I'm like, look at all these Mickey ears. And then he's like, the last thing you need is another pair of Mickey ears. I'm like, yeah, but look at the purple ones. And he's like, do you want them? And I'm like, no. And he's like, then what do you want? Why are you showing them to me? And then I'm like, oh, but let me show you this cute shirt. I want to show you something else. So I was showing him and he's like, do you want this? Do you want it? Do you want it? And no, I just want to show you. And he's like, babe, it's nice that you like those things, but if you don't want them, I don't care. You don't have to show them to me. And I said, okay, well, do you want to go look at diamonds at the jewelry store? Because 100% I want those. And we were just cracking up. But he's so wonderful. And that's the longest story ever as to why Sweetie Pie's not here, because he doesn't want people to know about his life.
Makes sense.
But everybody knows about his life anyways. I don't know.
But not on a deeper level. And then if you were to ask him something and then he's on the spot and has to answer.
That's true.
And not sure if he wants everyone to know that.
I think you guys are overthinking it. He probably feels like he doesn't have anything interesting to say. That's how I would feel.
Interesting.
You don't feel like you have anything interesting to say?
Well, just if I was invited to a podcast, like, what do you want to hear from me about?
Huh.
You know.
I love how women, or maybe just people like you and I, like, we really think deeply into this, and it could be quite so simple.
And Sweetie Pie's just like, I have nothing to
and like layers of vulnerability that are going to be exposed. And Billy's like, I just have nothing to say. Childhood drama.
Oh my gosh. And David's like, I want none of this. No, but you're probably right.
That's a great point.
Ask him
Good
that.
perspective.
I will ask him, but I feel like we have really good conversations. Like, I totally turned it on him though. I was like, you don't like talking to me? And he was like, I love talking to you. I'm like, I'm just being
like, I'm
ridiculous.
manipulating you
Yeah,
right
I'm
now.
just being ridiculous. It's okay. I know you like talking to me. Even last night, I was so tired when I got home from the conference, and I had just rolled over on my side, and we were talking, and he's like, you didn't even kiss me goodnight. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to sleep. I'm listening to you. Like, we're still talking. 2.6 seconds later, out like a light. So this morning, he's like, you didn't kiss me goodnight last night. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I said, we were talking, and then we just weren't. Then I just woke up. So I apologize. So
Well,
anyways.
David wasn't here, but this podcast was all about David.
This was so about what a wonderful husband he is and what a great dad he is and how he won't come on my fucking podcast. we gotta work it out. So thank you for joining me today and catching up with me. I have 2 more minutes and I need to say something really, really quickly. Disneyland, the people there are on a whole nother level. The things that they wear and that they think are appropriate is mind-boggling to me.
For example.
I'm not here to body shame. That's what I want to say. I am not here to body shame. But I do think that there is a level of appropriateness when you go out in public, depending on what you're doing. Yeah. If you're going to a club and you want to wear something super skimpy and lingerie, I'm here for it all day long. But when you are going to Disneyland for the day and you're going to be riding rides and there's children that are going to be there, I just think there needs to be a level of appropriateness. And I know we're free to wear whatever we want, but I am telling you, I look at people and I'm like, what in the hell? Did nobody tell you that that's not a good color on you or that does not fit you properly? That is probably 8 sizes too small for you. Or that purple, orange, green, and blue hair color on you is not the cutest. There was a person who had shaved their head like into like where they had like a widow's peak in the front and then shaved their head. The rest of it was shaved. And then the back, the hair was long and it was all different colors and everything. And the thing that went through my mind is I get it. Like, be in your moment, be who you are. I'm all about that. But what the hell do you do for a living?
We work at Hot Topic.
They work at Hot Topic. You know what? There's an ass for every seat. I'm okay with that because I literally told David, like, they're not a court reporter.
True.
I doubt they're somebody's doctor. I hope they're not somebody's real estate agent. And if they are, good, because that person would probably never pick me to sell their home.
They might be an artist.
An artist, that's
web
true.
Designer.
Okay, somebody
a
that's
creative of some sort.
Because I know people talk online at least about having. Sorry, my phone is going off. About having tattoos. And tattoos do not bother me. I don't care if you're tatted from head to toe. They don't bother me at all. I don't care where your tattoos are or whatever. But so maybe that's where I need to get with it. Like the clothes and the hair. Like
I think probably at Disney there's so many people. So you get to see all the masses versus just going out to dinner and just seeing like one uniquely dressed person at Disney. How many people go in there a day?
Yeah, millions. I mean,
is it?
Well, no, probably not that. I mean,
I don't even know. I'm not good at the like stats of it, but think about the huge pool size of people that you're seeing.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, then it leads me to think, okay, I better not do anything illegal because that's going to be my jury. Like those are my peers. And that scares the piss out of me. So if anything keeps me out of an orange jumpsuit, it's definitely some of the people at Disneyland. You know what? I will say this, though. I will say this because I don't want to end on a nasty note. I will say this. Those people, they are the ones that look like they're having a blast. They're having a great time. They're running around from ride to ride. And they do look like the sweetest humans. But I just sometimes do wish that, you know, things were tucked away and things being like body parts and stuff were tucked away.
Like a butt cheek or a boob.
Amen, sis. Amen. I'm here for it at the club. I'm here for it in Vegas. Like, I get it. I can roll with those punches, but I don't get it when it comes to Disneyland. So
Sense.
I'm going to leave you on that note. I love your face. Thank you for being with me. And maybe we'll get to our Italy trip or your Italy trip in the next one.
Yes.
Okay, cool.